Hey, good morning, folks. It is Tuesday, October 20th. Last night I had the completeness of a dream that I've had over the last several days. It started about the 17th or 18th of October. So here's what it is. I saw what looked like an atlas with an interstate lines all over the nation. Like if you're looking down at an atlas and you see the interstate lines going all over from state to state. And they were flashing with bits of information going all over. It looked like a data map. It appeared to be like a network of sorts that was obviously overworked. And some of the data points were not flashing. Some were. There were places, cities, smaller places. You had flashing. You had things that were moving. You had data points that were moving almost like traffic. But I could see there were small workers in white lab coats, and they were trying to work on the areas where the data was not flashing. I saw hammers. I saw guys with laptops. I saw people who were trying to work out the minute details of why this point wasn't flashing or why this point was flashing too hard or too fast. And I could see the areas heating up. I heard concerns that the circuits were going to go hot. That's what they said. Those circuits are going to go hot, and if they go hot, they will fry. And so that was the language I was hearing. And I said they're going to go hot and get fried if they could not slow the system down. And suddenly from the West Coast of the Midwest, and it started Washington State, Oregon, California, there were these big flashes. And then I saw smoke from the data points that seemed to represent those bigger cities. And they stopped on the western side of the Mississippi. So it started all the way on the West Coast, went to the West Coast, or to the western edge of the Mississippi River. I was not seeing explosions. I was not seeing bombs. I was seeing like systems shutting down because they were so hot. And then there was a countdown clock. There was no countdown clock at first, but now on the other side of the Mississippi River, there was a countdown clock, and it was counting down 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And when it reached 1, the eastern side of the Midwest started having the same flash points, and the cities there began to smoke, and the circuits were fried. It blew up, and the Liberty Bell went flying straight up in the air, and it split in half. The bell split in the middle of the air. It threw the Liberty Bell up into the air like this, and then the Liberty Bell split in half. Though there were people wearing suits and ties, this was business attire. I saw justice. It was not necessarily Supreme Court justice. I did not see faces, but I saw judges. I saw people in suit and tie, business attire, professional business, and they were trying to basically pull this line out of Washington, D.C. to keep it from blowing up or whatever. They were trying to pull this line away from the city without avail, to no avail. This thing kept going. It finally blew up because all the connections went to the Capitol building. That's exactly where it was going, to the Capitol building. It finally blew up, and the building literally cracked in half. So I'd seen the Liberty Bell crack in half, and now I saw the Capitol building crack in half. And it issues this huge smoke cloud. And as the smoke goes into the air, it creates a word. And that word was discovery. And there are people that they're running now. And they're not running from the explosion. They're running from the word they see in the sky, which was discovery. Then the scene changed, and I saw a rotunda of the Capitol. And there was a closed casket in the middle of the rotunda. And the sign on the casket stated that inside was the Democratic candidate for the office of president. And there was a calendar hanging above that casket, and it had the date specifically. Clearly, I saw it. One of the first times I've seen an actual date, not on a calendar, but on the paper, it said December 17th. That date was clearly spelled out. And I'm not going to say someone's going to die on the 17th. I don't know what to say about it. I'm just telling you what I saw. That's all I'm doing. This is the dream that I've had last night. This is the dream that will be on my mind for the next several hours, the next several days going into the election. And so please pray. Because the spokesman that was standing where the president gives the State of the Union said, "A house divided against itself shall not stand." And if we've ever been divided as a nation, it is today. I don't think we have to go back to the Civil War to find the kind of divisions that we have like we have today. And the division is a very, very spiritual one. I think God's about to punch the November calendar. The more I pray about it, the more I see, I think God's about to say enough is enough in this nation. And we'll see how the rest of my dreams play out. But I'm just telling you what I saw today, and ask you to pray about it, ask you to make sure you're right with the Lord, ask you to share your faith with as many people as you can. Get out and vote, get out and make a difference, but also prepare for the things that could happen in the next several weeks. We are 2 weeks today from the election. and things are not slowing down by any means. So take this and do with it what you will. Thanks for listening.